And hello everyone on YouTube. I 100% forgot to start recording. Let me say that again just in case it didn't register because I just clicked the button. I forgot to start recording for YouTube. Oh boy, sometimes my brain it doesn't work. So yeah, to recap, we talked to the guy in the elevator to Merib's office. He sent us to look for this guy so that we can introduce Yogiri to him because he works on a shadow thing, and yeah, they're gonna teach each other ninja tricks or something like that. He mentioned he knows Tancred and how much Tancred love wenches. Might be as my people and I keep to the shadows, but I've got nothing to be ashamed of. It's simply better for business that we remain unseen. And so you have developed fighting techniques suited to this purpose. I see. Note that the practitioners of my art, too, are denizens of the shadow. 'Tis in stealth that our strength lies. There is much we might learn from one another, I think. Then what in the seven hells are we waiting for? If you'd come with us, you carry off the what's it, you can get acquainted with more private. We can get acquainted in more private rounds. That didn't come out right, did it? Master Lahee, I shall remain with these people for a time, that I might study their ways. Though I'm loath to be separated from my countrymen, I take solace in the knowledge that they are in the best of hands. You have been a true friend to us Dolmans. No word would suffice to express my gratitude. Ere long, I hope to begin imparting my martial knowledge to the people of Eorzea. When that time comes, it would be my honor to welcome you as a student. So it's probably about this patch that the ninja job was introduced, which started not as ninja but as rogue. Car. It's been ages since Tancred up and left the sisters. What I wouldn't give to run with the old scoundrel again, just like back in the old days. Far Eastern combat art, huh? I must say, my curiosity fairly piqued. Through the maelstrom. The Letty at the Letty. Yogiri has the air of a woman bursting with gratitude. Much more has occurred since first I beheld the Eorzea from the galleon deck. Suffice to say, I did not envisage being invited to play a part in your noble struggle. But forgive me, I have kept you over long. Doubtless you have pressing business of your own. Rest assured that I no longer require an escort in this land. When next you meet Lady Minfilia, pray relay to her my humblest thanks. Would that I could do so in person, but I must needs fulfill my promise to the Admiral. Till we meet again, Warrior of Light. I'm not gonna mention that guy's free company at all. So you wanna be a rogue? I wonder if it just unlocked. I wasn't paying attention, but yeah. So Sash, Stick, I don't want to be a dancer. I think Blue Mage would make sense for Lahee. I just don't think I want to do the grind. Okay. Brave return to the Raising Stones. The game is being targeted by the DDoS attacks again, so that's why we were experiencing a lot of lag lately. In my native land, there exist individuals not unlike these adventurers, yet without a master to serve. How does one know the path that one must walk? We are on our own masters. I have been tasked with helping with out in the kitchen. Once I have grown accustomed to my duties, I hope to treat our hosts to a traditional Doman cuisine. Interesting. Looking forward to that. An adventurer bends to no authority, but lives and acts according to his own beliefs. He is the master of his own destiny. Indeed. What if you wanted to solve a problem that's already happened, like the Guardians destroying Doma? History is our friend, young one. The answers to the problems of the present are often to be found within the past. We need but to seek them out. On behalf of the science, I bid you welcome to the Rising Stones. With your cooperation, we hope to grow rich and transform this place into the piling gold. Oh, Lahee, forgive me, but I must see to the Doman's needs. The Rising Stones. What a peculiar name for a sanctuary. You should have met the Waking Sands. Some 15 years ago, some mission took me to the... It was then that I first chanced to gaze upon your beauty. I was utterly transfixed. I dared not blink lest I deprived myself of having a split second of your radiance. What have you been doing to him, Philemon? You do flatter me, dear, and I do believe you have had a bit too much to drink. I didn't peg you as a drunkard, Tancred. I pegged you as a lot of things, but not a drunkard. You think this is impressive? In Doma, we're trained to run on the treetops. You need to teach me that trick sometime. What in the seven heavens are you doing up there? Get down here before you fall and break your neck. I don't think these kids are capable of breaking their own necks. They are too competent for that. Don't mind Papa Limo, he's making a fuss over nothing as usual. Using sense of balance is amazing for a boy his age. I wonder how he's got so good. Probably living in an empire-dominated place. Yeah, that would help. Some of the Domans wanted to learn how to fight, and it's falling to me to oversee their training. First, I need to find suitable equipment for everyone. Well, good luck with that.
I have been reflecting upon the events which took place during our visit to Vilbrand. If you have a moment, I would share my conclusions with you. Please, bear with me.
Sure.
When the Sahagin Elder summoned Leviathan, he employed the power we have come to know as the Echo. Though I cannot well explain the how of it, it would seem he became immortal in so doing. When the Admiral subsequently slew him, his spirit emerged from his lifeless flesh, a consciousness shorn of physical form. Thus transfigured, he took up residence in the body of his minion with the ease of a man donning a favorite glove.
Not unlike the Asians.
Long have I known that the Echo allows one to pass through the walls of a man's soul. But never did I imagine that it could free us from our own flesh, nor less that our souls could then occupy the next corporeal vessel to take our fancy. It was of this that Elidibus spoke, an existence which knows neither cessation nor oblivion. And yet, though the Sahagin had mastered his gift and thereby become immortal, he was by no means invulnerable. As we both bore witness, he was ultimately absorbed into Leviathan. And the import of this observation? If the Asians' mode of existence is indeed the same, it can be inferred that they too are not invulnerable, that they can be destroyed.
Indeed, but I don't think invoking primals near an Asian is exactly a good idea.
There exists a legend which tells of souls who are reborn upon the cusp of each umbral calamity, that they might stay the encroaching darkness. To most, it is but a fairy tale. Yet recent events have given me cause to wonder. Could the legend in fact refer to the Echo? Much and more yet remains unknown, but I am confident that all will become clear in time. For the present, however, what matters is that the key to defeating the Asians may at last be within sight. With Eorzea's aid, it is my hope that I shall fathom this matter ere long.
Talking about him?
Oh, I was just about to send for you, my friend. Is Artemis?
Grave tidings from the Sharlayan motherland, my lady. It doth concern our distant allies, the students of Baldessian.
What of them?
My lady, the Isle of Val, which for many years hath been the Order's home, is no more.
What? How? What do you mean no more?
No more? Whatever do you mean?
I relate only that which hath been conveyed unto me by our agents. An etheric wave of the highest magnitude was recorded in the region. Soon thereafter, 'twas observed that the isle had ceased to be. 'Tis postulated that a magic was evoked. liken power to Ultima.
12 preserve.
Were they tampering with stuff they didn't understand?
If there are no other matters, I move that today's meeting be adjourned.
It is done, my lord. Forgive my impertinence, my lord, but these orders, I am uncertain as to what end they serve.
Revolution.
What are you plotting? Through the maelstrom. The Great Divide. Miphilia's thoughts keep returning to the fate of the students of Baldesion. Our friends, the very islet itself, everyone and everything. No, it avails us not to speculate, but Yanger will send word if there are any developments. Until such time as he does, we must remain firmly focused on that which is within our power to change. With that in mind, I would speak of a different matter. One closer to home. I'm listening. It concerns the etheric fluctuations which we had previously attributed to good King Mogul Mag 12. That the king is no more is a blessing for which we have you to thank. Yet all is not well in the 12's wood. Our latest readings reveal an ongoing etheric disturbance of considerable magnitude. They may even suggest the presence of a primal. Needless to say, the mere possibility warrants immediate investigation, and I would have you... Acelia, I do not wish to interrupt, but we have a problem. What manner of problem? A band of refugees, hailing from Uda this time, are come to Revenant's tools seeking asylum. It would seem they expect us to afford them the same treatment we gave the Domans. At present, they are in the 7th heaven, awaiting a formal response. I see. Mayhaps this was to be expected. I shall meet with them at once. Acelia, you know full well we haven't the resources to accommodate many more people. Consider that what will happen if you do this. Word will spread and more will follow. Your opinion is duly noted, but I will hear their suit. Lahee, I should be grateful for your presence at this meeting. I'm curious as well. I am well aware that our resources are finite, but we have a responsibility to protect the people of Eorzea. The position of these interactables is so strange for Lalafels. Everybody seems to be in the same positions. Okay. I apologize for keeping you waiting. My name is Minfilia, and I lead the Scions of the Seventh Down. 12 be praised, it is you! We're ready and willing to work, same as the Domans. Just give us a task, and we'll see it done. Pray, calm yourselves. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I know naught of your situation. Beg your pardon, Antecedent. I aren't so good with words. We've been living off the scraps of Ulda for years now, trying to piece together a life to replace the one of what God took. They say there's work, but there is not for an honest man. Not as wouldn't sully his soul sooner than his palms any road. The flames do what they can for us, of course, but it ain't near enough. And it's only getting worse. When the calamity brought us to our knees, those rich bastards in the city didn't help us up. They climbed on our backs. I don't pretend to be clever, but even I can see what is coming. I knew we had to run, the only question was where, and then it came to me. Revenants too. I mean, you took them foreigners in, didn't you? So you'd surely do the same for us. I fear the situation is rather more complicated. While it is true that we accepted the Doman's petition for aid, that decision was the product of extraordinary circumstances. I sympathize deeply with your plight, but pray understand that it's not possible for an organization of our means to aid all who have been affected by the calamity. And so it is with great regret that I must deny your request. But we've nowhere else to go. You're turning your back on us? If I might have a word. Tataru is out a mess. You tidings from Ulda, my lady. Alfino has been wounded. What? How? Is it serious? I cannot say for certain, but I fear it might be. According to the flames, the refugees started a riot. They went wild apparently, lashing out at any and everyone. What? That can't be right. Why would they? They must have been provoked. The demonstration was meant to be peaceful. Seven hells, now the Blades have an excuse. They'll round us up and kill anyone who tries to resist. Antecedent, please, if you won't help us build a new life, at least help us keep the ones we've got. My lady, we are not ones to stand idly by and watch innocents suffer. However, until we know more of the circumstances surrounding this riot, I am not certain what aid, if any, we can provide. If the authorities determine that the refugees attacked without provocation, then those responsible will have to answer for their actions. How can you be so blind? Find Alfino, and quickly. If he is in danger, or worse, I would have you and none other be by his side. Thank you. Pray do not concern yourself with the matter we were discussing earlier. Ida and Papa Lima will see to it. Alfino is being treated at the hourglass. Hurry, Lahee. don't believe what they say. I know these people. They would only take up arms to defend themselves. If there was a riot, I swear to you, they didn't start it. If I get the opportunity, I'll try to see to the bottom of it, but no promises, okay? While I'm walking. Final? Weren't you hurt?
Come, you must have gathered by now that Tataru is given to exaggeration. As you can see, I am quite well. Ul'dah, on the other hand, is not. This riot was anything but an isolated incident. There is a restlessness in the air. Tensions long simmering are at last threatening to boil over. Ul'dah is a nation infamous for the great disparity between the wealthy and the poor. The majority of the populace accepts this state of affairs because they believe that every man bears responsibility for his own lot in life. To an Ul'dan, money is the foremost, and some would say the only measure of a man's worth. Small wonder that the wealthiest wield the greatest influence. So where do the refugees fit into this social hierarchy? What place is there for those who fled Alamigo and the destruction of the Calamity? Plainly, there is none. They have no wealth, no power, and no worth. To the Ul'dan way of thinking, they may as well not exist. Choosing to ignore their existence, however, is patently not an option. General Rauban and the Sultana understand this, which is why they ordered the Immortal Flames to provide the refugees aid and succor. Yet, none would dispute that the expenses incurred by this policy grow by the day, with no end in sight. This has prompted more and more Ul'dans to question their obligation to aid these worthless wanderers. While more and more refugees have come to resent their treatment at the hands of the sneering citizenry. The manner of Lord Lolorito's refusal to grant the Dolmens asylum bespoke a disdain for all refugees, an attitude shared by the rest of the monetarists. And you may be sure they make no effort to conceal their opinions. It was only a matter of time before the refugees united in protest. Nor is it any surprise that some among them would ultimately resort to violence. That the Immortal Flames should choose this of all occasions to engage in joint training exercises with the other Grand Companies. By the time they return, the situation may well have deteriorated beyond mending.
Is there anything we can do? Desperate times. Alphinaud wishes to investigate the circumstances surrounding the riot. As I told you before, it was all but inevitable that an incident of this kind would eventually occur, given the rising tensions within the Sultanate. Nevertheless, I have reason to believe that this particular riot may not have begun spontaneously. Have I piqued your curiosity? Good. Then you will accompany me to the Hall of Flames. I would hear what General Ralban has to say upon the matter. Very well. I will not keep Ralban waiting. For Ralban specifically. Now is not a good time, Lahee. My hands are full dealing with the refugees. Precisely the matter we wish to discuss, General. Alfino, back on your feet already? You may credit my swift recovery to your chirurgeons. My memories of the riot are still somewhat muddled. I trust you managed to regain control of the situation? Not entirely. We secured the city soon enough, but not before the unrest had spread to the surrounding territories. Pockets of resistance remain throughout Thanalan. We have sent what forces we can spare to root out the last of the belligerents, but progress is slow. They're damnably elusive. I can well imagine. Given that the majority of refugees live outside the walls, it stands to reason that they would know the lay of the land. What I do not understand is how they came to be so well prepared. Before my little accident, I observed that several of the refugees were armed, and not with butcher knives or pitchforks, but with martial weaponry. I need hardly add that such equipment is costly. None can deny that tensions between Uldan citizenry and the refugees, the population have increased since Domans were turned away, but would that motivate starving men to purchase arms in lieu of food? And what of those who have not even a single guild to spend? Who could not survive without the aid provided by the immortal flames? Surely they would sooner sell a weapon than bring it to bear against their benefactors. Come to the point. Very well. My point, General, is that this powder keg of discontent was not set alight by chance. These events were deliberately set in motion, and now order must be restored. That's my first duty. Until it is done, an investigation can wait. I do not have time to discuss this. My scouts will be returning anon. The General is no fool. He keeps his own counsel, and with good cause. Were he to claim, without the necessary proof, that these riots were instigated by outside forces, the monetarists would accuse him of attempting to shirk responsibility. After all, he and the Sultana have been the most outspoken proponents of refugee aid. Regardless, they will face harsh criticisms in the days ahead. Our allies may stumble upon the truth in time, but I have far more faith in your abilities, Lahee. Therefore, I propose we conduct our own investigation, independent of the authorities. To that end, I would have you make inquiries in the settlement suspected of harboring belligerents. Commander Swift will know which they are. He may balk at the request of such information, but I've no doubt that you can persuade him with your silver tongue. I, meanwhile, shall seek answers in my own way, after which we can regroup and share our findings. Well then, shall we? Very well. Your silver tongue is basically the color of your hair. Mine is not so shiny. Let's see what we can do. You look as though as you have something to say, Lahee. Do you? I need to figure out... I need to know where the settlements are so I can investigate the riot. What you ask is no simple favor. Were such information to fall in the wrong hands, the lives of countless soldiers would be at risk. Even so, there's a wisdom in your words. An able individual may be better suited to this task than a regiment. Very well. The Brass Blades have reported suspicious activities in the vicinity of Lost Hope. It may be unrelated to recent events, but we doubt it. I suggest you begin by speaking with the Blades posted there. Well, I have a starting point. Despite having no decent soil, we've managed to grow some crops. The wee ones can enjoy a proper meal on occasion. And what brings you here, adventurer? In search for refugees? Well, then you've come to the right place. Ah, you mean those refugees? Oh no, you won't find them here. Most of the people of Lost Hope have come to accept their situation, and are content to pass their days in peace and quiet. Outsiders have trouble understanding that, like that merchant who passed through recently. Gregarious fellow, but awfully opinionated. Can't say I was sad to see him go. A friend of the Sultanate, are we? I take this means someone has read my report. The refugees who left with the merchant have yet to return, and I am increasingly concerned that Zazawaka's suspicions were correct. You haven't the foggiest what I'm talking about, do you? Never mind. Speak with Zazawaka, he will explain everything. Zazawaka. Ah, don't hurt me. I'm not one of them. I'm not here to hurt you. Beg your pardon? You're not a flame? I see. If Leofric bid you speak with me, then I take it you agreed to help. 12 be praised for that, because we haven't a moment to waste. Everyone knows the flames are on the march. The others have fallen under that fanatic spell, but not I. Promises of revolution and retribution, of holding the ruling class to account and taking that which is owed. Ha! A child's fantasy. I did everything I could to dissuade the others from leaving, but few would heed my words. Now that one of our idealists has returned, however, the madness of the merchant's plans is plain for all to see. Look behind yonder the tent and you will understand why. Even now he babbles incoherently, so traumatized he is by the bloodshed he witnessed. Try as I might, I can make little sense of his words beyond the fact that he was not alone in surviving. Yet I've no doubt that merchant will lead the remainder to their doom. I beg of you, find them before he does. Second time I hear of this merchant. What are you doing? Don't draw! Don't draw! Don't draw! Don't draw! Don't draw! Don't draw! Why did you run away with me? We could have escaped together. Then you'd be there with me, be there to suit me. Why you have to stay and leave me alone? Can you calm down? Who are you? What do you want? Just you know what happened. Aye, it's true. I followed the merchant, and may the gods strike me down for my folly. What they will not give, you must take, he said. When asked how, he revealed the cache of weapons he had brought and implored us to seize control of our fates. I thought about running then and there, but the others were so excited. He split us into two groups, sent us off into our own. But when the flames found us, we didn't know what to do. Our leader tried to parley with us, but then they started arguing, and then fighting, and then everyone was fighting, and the flames were shouting to give no quarter, and... Oh gods, the other group, they're still out there. If we don't stop them, they will be massacred like mine was. Other group. Do you know where I can find this other group before things get bad? Shock and awe. The terrified refugee, he would have you find his brethren and convince them to lay down their arms. The other refugees are hiding in the caves south of Lost Hope, but to approach them would be fruitless. They would sooner call us agents of the Sultanate and try to kill us than listen to reason. Why, the twins might even deign to do the deed themselves. A pox on the blood sellswords, on all blood sellswords. They were supposed to train us to fight, but the ones he sent with us vanished during the struggle. Oh, if only we had never listened to that merchant's ridiculous claims. He said our cause was righteous, and the gods would never suffer us to be defeated. Though if they were forced to confront reality, that's it. Challenge the twins to combat and show my brethren that their strongest warriors are no match for the one man. Mayhap then they will agree to lay down their arms and renounce this plot. Just a moment, my nose is not cooperating. Violence to stop violence. Not sure about this plan. Hurt the twins if you must, but pray do your utmost not to harm the others. Who are those twins? 7 hells, they found us. Everyone, grab your gear and make for the rendezvous point. So that's your game, eh? Is it? Sorry to disappoint you, lad, but we're more than willing to kill you ourselves. This is not gonna be good for anybody here. Challenge, it's been so long. Challenge? Yeah, I'm probably a challenge to you. But not the other way around. I summoned Carbuncle for nothing. You beat him like it was nothing. Tall might, what are you gonna do now? Give up this plot. Hopefully this worked. I'm not convinced. You've returned. Did you find my brethren? What of the twins? What happened? I gave them a thrashing. I see. Well, you had no choice. Better than a handful of them take a beating from you and a lot get butchered by the flames. You have a point. Tell me, what did the merchant have to say when it was over? He wasn't there. Huh? But where else would he be? Unless we went to Stone Throws to recruit others? Stone Throw, huh? Reap the whirlwind. The terrified refugee would have you find the shady figure who is trying to stir dissent among his brethren. The merchant wished to approach the refugees in Stone Throw, but was waiting until the flames withdraw their forces from the vicinity. Now that they have, there is nothing to stop him from continuing his work. How many more must perish in pursuit of this future cause? How much more suffering must we endure before it ends? Find him, convince him to cease his mad quest. It will surely lead us to ruin. Stone Throw. Who's this merchant? You okay, girl? Haha, have you seen my parents? Can't say I did. They told me to stay here with the others. They said they'd be back soon, but it's been days. They left with the men from Oda. The men said they were gonna change everything. Make it so we could live inside the walls with everyone else I like it when he said that. I didn't like when he talked about making the rich people pay. Everyone looked so angry, and I got scared. Say, mister, are you looking for someone? Probably that very merchant. I'm looking for someone stirring up trouble. You mean the man who left with my parents? But I don't know where he... Wait, look, over there. I think that's him. Well, now which of these gullible fools shall be my next victim? What about me? You, He's getting away. Go get him, mister. You don't need to say that twice. And I have an extra pair of legs. Boo. You again! Why are you pursuing me? What have you been doing with the refugees? Sedition? Treason? Revolution? That's preposterous. Who has filled your head with this lies? Refugees? The self-same refugees who terrorize the streets of Oda? Ha! You have no evidence to prove your accusations. None! Well, I have a witness. No. I will not accompany you to the Hall of Flames. You have no right to detain me. Well, I have the power to do that. For the sake of argument, let's just say I did do the things you claim. Surely you don't think I give a kick in arse about politics. It was business. Only business. I don't give a kicker in size about your business. So? We both know I am not the one you want. However, if you agree to protect me, I swear I shall tell you everything. Those are workable terms. What's all this commotion? 7 hells! Tell the others to spread out and search the area. The killer may still be close. Yeah, now Alfino's suspicions prove more likely. Hold it, adventure. I would know more about the relationship your relationship with the victim, as well as the events leading up to his death. Well, it's a long story. Yeah. This man was responsible for the recent riots. Mayhap we owe his murder a debt of gratitude. I don't think so. In any case, it is obvious you are not the one whom we seek. You may carry on with your investigation, Scion. This is bad. He definitely had information. What news, Lahee? Where is the merchant? Dead. Probably killed by one of his accomplices. Murdered? Damn, it out to the seven hell. He was not simply murdered, Lahee. He was silenced, indeed. Too many knew his face, and he was ready to divulge his secrets. Do not despair, though. You may be closer to identifying the true orchestrator of these riots than you realize. Do you have an idea? I'm all ears. A complete triple riot to Revolution. Swift has a message for you from General Ralban. The Flame General left word that you were to proceed to the Fragrant Chamber as soon as you returned. He wishes to discuss your recent discoveries as well as the results of your own investigation. Master Alfino has already been informed that and should be waiting for you outside. Pray, proceed to the Royal Promenade with all haste and speak with Bartholomew. Bartholomew. Alright. What a weird cut. Excellent work, Lahee. The information you brought us helped me persuade General Ralban to call this meeting. Mayhaps now we can discuss matters openly and honestly. Let's hope so. We have been expecting you, sir. Please proceed inside.
Commander Swift has kept us apprised of your recent activities. You've made great strides towards quelling the violence.
Despite our best efforts to determine what provoked this uprising, the truth continues to elude us. Have you uncovered aught which might shed some light on the mystery?
This information does not leave this room. The Syndicate's decision to reject the Doman refugees' appeal for asylum had lasting repercussions. A number of those displaced by the calamity claimed it was proof of a policy of discrimination.
They would not be wrong.
Together with a group of Alamegan refugees, they organized a series of demonstrations to protest against the Sultanate. Demonstrations which became heated, but did not descend into violence. Until a certain incident served as a call to arms.
A unit of brass blades sent to supervise a demonstration loosed arrows upon unarmed protesters. It was this atrocity which prompted the refugees to take up arms. I need not tell you what followed.
We assumed at first that the attack was born of a miscommunication. When emotions run high, they happen. But suspicions were raised regarding the unit's commanding officer, whom I ordered interrogated. Sure enough, our fears were soon confirmed. The dog confessed that a merchant had offered him coin to give the order. A merchant in the employ of Teleji Adeleji.
Teleji Adeleji. But he spoke in favor of the Doman's cause, and has ever seemed sympathetic towards the refugees' plight. Why would he do such a thing?
Know you of the Cartano Reclamation Bill? It is a proposal to annex the Cartano Flats so that refugees may establish permanent settlements.
When last I looked, that was disputed territory.
Aye. Some might even call it a battlefield. The destruction wrought by Bahamut was greatest at the Cartano Flats. That much is common knowledge. What is less well known is that his rampage laid bare ancient Allagan ruins, of which no record existed. There are certain differences of opinion as to how these ruins should be handled, which is why each nation maintains a military presence in the region to this day. Yet differ though we may, we are still allies. Therefore, in the interest of preserving the Eorzean alliance, we have reached an agreement. Any conflict which may arise during the course of military exercises in the region shall have no bearing on relations between our nations. In full knowledge of this delicate state of affairs, Teleji Adeleji proposed the Cartano Reclamation Bill. A shameless, bloody ruse which stands to benefit him in but one conceivable way. If successful, he will gain control over the disputed territory under the guise of assisting in the resettlement effort. And you can be sure he'll build an orphanage next to every Allagan ruin.
The man would threaten the unity of the Eorzean alliance and risk countless lives for personal gain.
He walks a path all his own, independent of any faction and beholden to none of his fellows on the Syndicate.
By inciting the less fortunate to violence, he hopes to convince others that the Cartano Reclamation Bill is the only viable solution. His sympathy for the plight of the Domans was not but posturing to gain credibility with the refugees. Of that there can be no doubt.
Forgive me, but what could possibly motivate Teleji Adeleji to go to such lengths? What is so special about these ruins that he would risk his position on the Syndicate, and, most likely, charges of treason against the Sultanate.
Omega.
Oh man, what?
Pardon?
An Oligon monstrosity, not unlike the Ultima weapon. Mayhap larger, we know not. It has yet to be fully excavated. Oligon inscriptions indicate that it was created to fell Bahamut himself. If accurate, it might explain why Nail Van Darnus chose to bring the Red Moon down upon the Cotonou Flats. Given the ends he went to ensure Eorzea's annihilation, destroying the one weapon which could stay the Elder Primal may well have seemed like good sense.
When first I bore witness to the power of the Ultima weapon, I doubted the evidence of my senses. And now you tell me there is another such weapon. One which could contend with Bahamut. Bahamut!
Aye, we were skeptical ourselves. Truth be told, until the Ultima weapon's existence came to light, we thought the inscription had been mistranslated.
At present, Omega is more akin to a fossil than a tool of war, having long since ceased to function. As such, its true potential cannot accurately be gauged. However, if someone were to restore it, as the Garleans did the Ultima weapon, I have little doubt that he would wield untold power.
Power enough to subjugate Uldar like as not, and the rest of Eorzea besides, which is doubtless why Teleji Adeleji yearns to have it.
Or anybody to that matter.
That he should aspire to world domination. He who has ever walked 2 paces behind Lord Lolorito in matters of commerce.
'Tis in acknowledgement of his own limitations that he seeks this power. Woe betide us all should we allow him to have it.
Pray waste no time chasing rats. Only a fool would believe that secrets can be kept in Uldar.
It would seem the implications of the Sultanate's refugee problem are rather more far-reaching than we assumed.
What a mess. Stories we tell. Recent revelations weighed heavily on Alphinaud's mind. I should be glad to know the truth, and yet the thought that all this chaos was the product of one man's lust for power sickens me. How long do you think they intended to hide the existence of Omega from the science? That they even felt the need to do so is most troubling. It would be in our best interests to learn more of the military activities in the disputed territories. You are, of course, the science best suited to this task. Lieutenant Eshkree, to take a moment to visit the Maelstrom Command and make inquiries at the latest available opportunity. Begone, whelp! This is no place for children. What? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can you have a little more tact, man? I was looking for you, mister. You said you were looking for the man who left with my parents. You know this girl? She pointed me towards that merchant. So he visited Stone Throw as well, I see. Did you find the man? Were my parents with him? They were not, I'm afraid. Yep. However, I can think of several places they might be. If you like, We can go and look for them together. Really? You help me look, mister? Of course. But first I must needs finish speaking with my friend. He's telling me a secret, you see, so no one else is allowed to listen. Mayhap you could wait for me by that pillar over there? We require but a moment. Okay, mister. I'll be waiting. I'll take her to the quicksand. Mayhap Momo, do you know what to do? A legion of guardians, an ether-starved primal. Even dealing with an Astion would be preferable to this charade. Sometimes I fear Miss Celia is too ambitious. We rush hither and yon in response to threats and as they arise, without concern for the stain it places on our limited resources and ourselves. Mayhap the time has come for a change. Lahee, this is Minfilia. I know this is sudden, but I must ask you to return to Revenant without due haste. The situation in the 12's Wood has taken a turn for the worse. I will explain in detail once you arrive. Well, I have an emergency. Need to go back to the Rising Stones. The 12's Wood. Then the primal threat that she spoke before has been confirmed. I have received no report of Ixali activity, which leaves the sylphs. Go, Lahee. You know as well as I that the appearance of a primal takes precedence over all else. Oh, and when you arrive, do inform that dissident that while I am grateful for her concern, she needn't fear for my safety. I am more than capable of protecting myself. Very well. You were the one that wanted to investigate the riots. Well, I did too. Teleportation is risky. I am come on behalf of the other cities here to petition the aid of your order. The antecedent has been apprised of the situation. It is a relief to see you health and hail, Lahee. The latest news from Uda was most disturbing. Well, Alphinaud is well, and we were investigating the riots. Clearly, the only injury Alphinaud suffered was to his ego. Doubtful as it will heal her ere long. I think he is already hale and whole. To the other science will need to be present for this meeting. If you are ready to begin, I'll summon them now. I need some water. Even though I think this is going to be voiced. I'm so glad they are increasing the voice of the cutscenes. Lord of Leven. Ophelia wishes to discuss the latest threat to arise in the Black Shroud. Thank you for responding to my call with such haste. It's not freaking voiced. Give this guy a... Urianger isn't him here. Just have the voice actor for Urianger voice this guy and you could do it. Come on. Rest assured, I should not have summoned you here. You were it not urgent. To business then. I have received some most disturbing news from the Order of the Twin Adder. They have reason to believe that the Sylphs may have called forth their revered guardian, the Primal Ramu. I'm sorry, may have? Then it's not certain? The other seer informs that the elementals themselves murmur of the Lord of Levin's return to the forest. The Sylphlands, however, display no signs of undue commotion. Forgive me, antecedent, but the fact needs not contradict the elemental's testimony. Unlike his more bellicose compeers, Garud and so on, Ramu is reputed to act only in the defense of his children. I imagine he would soon make his presence known if any were foolish enough to directly endanger the Sylphs or their territory. The abruptness of this development concerns me. Were we not keeping a close watch on the touched ones and their movements? If preparations for a summoning ritual were indeed underway, it would certainly not have escaped your notice. Oh, it didn't. I was pretty sure it was going to happen, just not this soon. I beg your pardon? You foresaw this eventuality and did not to prevent it? I told Papa Limo. I suppose I could have reported things to Ophelia earlier, but there honestly wasn't much we could do except wait and see. You know how the Sylphs feel about people poking around in their territory? They already summoned Ramu once, right after the calamity, but that was because the Guardians came trampling up through the forest. And so long as Castron Oriens stands, the Sylphs cannot be blamed for wishing to have their guardian deity on hand. In short, Eden and I are in agreement. The actions of the forest folk were inevitable and unavoidable. And I maintain that observation would have remained the best policy had it not been for the sudden influx of strangers into the Black Shroud, that, alas, we did not foresee. By all accounts, the recent violence in Uda drove a number of refugees to seek safety under the concealing canopy of the trees. I know how this worked and it was not good. This like that the Sylphs perceived this panicked migration as yet another invasion and quickened their efforts to summon their god. I am putting mind of Titan and the kobolds. Once again, it is the affairs of men which have paved the way for a primal's coming. Indeed, one cannot help but wonder what manner of place Eorzea would be without the civilizing influence of mankind, but that as it may, this regrettable development does afford us a new unique opportunity. Lahee, through your dealings with the Sylphs of Little Solace, you once succeeded in preventing an untimely conflict with Gridania. I wonder, might one who has treated with the Sylphs so fruitfully in the past not achieve similar success with their patron deity? You want me to talk to Ramu? If Ramu can be convinced of our intentions, it may be the first step to breaking the cycle of primal summoning. A fond hope. Were such thing possible, we would not have been at war with the beastmen since time immemorial. But maybe this time we can... Let us continue this discussion anon. We must needs first consult with the nation that most affected by Ramuh's presence. The elder seats here have requested our personal involvement. Lahee, pray reporter to Commander Heliox at the Adder's Nest as soon as you are able. Will do. Steel yourself for the worst. While I hope for a peaceful resolution to this matter, experience suggests that your meeting with the Lord of Levin will prove less than amicable. In such event, your fellow Scions will of course lend you whatever support you require. Well, talking to a primal should actually be a welcome change in our dealings with them. The other solicitors asked you by name. Play report to Commander Heliox at the Adder's Nest in Gridania without haste. I can... Okay, you can only say one thing. Forever standing here. Lahee of the Science, your arrival has been most anticipated. The appearance of a primal is ever cause for alarm and unease. Though we may stand ready for any eventuality, I know of none more qualified than you to snuff out this threat. Indeed, I would have you do so without delay. The other sits here, however, would speak with you first. She is of the opinion that your diplomatic, rather than martial, skills may better serve our cause. I will leave further explanation to our learned leader. Pray make your way to Nafka's altar. The conjurer in attendance will admit you to the lotus stand. Very well. I think it would actually be faster if I just... yeah. If I just walked. The other Scions have already arrived, sir. May I show you in? By all means. I am most curious to hear how the other Sidsir means to treat with Lord Ramuh. I see the Sylphs have sent their own representative. There can be no doubt then. It is said that once Ramuh passes judgment, his wrath is implacable. It would be best to conclude this discussion ere Gridania and its people are placed upon his scales. Whatever the other city is planning, I want to know that I'll be right there by your side. And I'm sure Ishitola won't be far behind, even if she does think everything's mankind's fault. Oh, hello, Walking One. It's good to see a friend of Elder One.
Scions of the Seventh Dawn, on behalf of the people of Gridania, I bid you welcome. Your presence is of great comfort to us all in these days of uncertainty. I summoned you here to share tidings of a most urgent nature. But a short while ago, the great elemental spoke, and his voice was clarion in its intensity. Ramuh is returned unto the forest. Scarce had his words ceased to echo in mine ears when we were visited by an emissary from Little Solace. Our guest informs us that the sylphs too have sensed the presence of the Lord of Levin. Though his exact whereabouts remain unknown, we may safely assume that the primal was summoned within the heart of the Sylphlands. Unlike the other primals you have encountered, Lord Ramuh is no raging avatar of destruction. He is revered as much for his wisdom as his strength, serving as both arbiter and guardian to his children. Given that we and the Sylphs found a way to share the Twelveswood, it is my hope that this sagely immortal will be amenable to reason, and that conflict may be avoided. Blessed as you are with the power of the Echo, you are one of the few among us who may commune with a primal without fear of influence. I would ask, therefore, that you represent us in this most delicate of negotiations.
Will do.
The Twelveswood has suffered enough. Upon this, we and the Sylphs, and I would venture Lord Ramuh himself, are in perfect accord. Let us not endanger our shared home by engaging in unnecessary hostilities. Dear friend, I beseech you, safeguard the peace which exists between our peoples.
I'll do my best.
You have my thanks. Pray make for Little Solace, then. A member of the Order of the Twin Adder awaits you there. He will advise you on how to find the Lord of Levin. An ill wind blows through the forest. Yet, it is not only the Twelveswood that flinches at its coming. All the lands of Eorzea shiver in dread anticipation. Have care.
All right. To Little Solace. Let's parlay with the primal. I would call Hildebrand, but I have no clue where he could have flown to. Noraxia is no longer with these ones, but this one does not weep. Noraxia has returned to the forest whence all ones are born. For everyone there is a beginning, and the cycle begins anew. Walking One will forever have this one's gratitude for bringing Noraxia home. Lahee of the Science, I was told to expect you. I understand you go treat with the primal Ramu himself. An unenviable task, but one of which I have no doubt you are well suited. I have been told that your fellow Scions are conducting an investigation of the area as we speak, that we might ascertain the location where the Lord of Levin might be found. I would ask that you abide here until they return with their findings. Guess it's time to relax a bit. Leaving an impression. The Serpent Lieutenant looks about, seemingly awaiting a visitor. I was told that a messenger would be sent as soon as your fellow Scions finished their investigations. I do not imagine it will be much longer. This one returns, and returns with good tidings. Wise ones have finished searching, and have wisely identified the precise location where the touched ones summoned the Lord Ramu. Your time is impeccable. My fluttery friend, might you be so kind as to escort this good man and to his fellow Scions? It would be this one's pleasures, Walking One. Please, please come with this one. Alright, let's do this. Wise ones have ventured deep within the Syphilants. These ones must proceed carefully, and keep an eye out for touched ones. Wait for me. This one is most sorry, but this one can go no further. Draw too close to Lord Ramu, and this one might turn mean and nasty like touched ones. And so this one must say farewell now. Walking One will find wise ones not far from here. To the south, go in safety, Walking One. I understand, thanks for the help. So, Tancred's Tancred, Papalima is Papalima, Istola is Istola, and you are you, right? Well, that's easy enough to remember. This one's name is Ida, in case your Walking One was wondering. Joke! I'm joking! So, there's a bit of cut content here, because originally there was a whole situation where where you needed to, like, the sylphs were playing their games and we needed to sort out who's who, that they got changed. The sylphs changed into them and you need to figure out who were the real ones, I think. I never experienced that. I just heard about it. There you are. It is you, isn't it? Don't ask. Suffice to say that we had something of a situation here. Can Sylph summon carbuncles? Because I have proof that I'm me. Right, Carby? So it's actually you. I'm relieved. For a moment I thought we were dealing with another one of those confounded sylph tricksters. I swear, with 10 working havoc with her skin-changing magics, it's a wonder I was able to finish taking my measurements. Yes, it was quite the ordeal. You should have seen the look of Ishtola's face when the one impersonating you suddenly showed up. That is quite enough, Papalimo. Yeah, my apologies, it's not like me to ramble so. At any rate, I was saying, I have finished measuring etheric activity into the area, and I am pleased to say I have reached an indisputable conclusion. To wit, that Ramu was called forth in the vicinity of the Sylph's Etherite. Come, Lahee, the Lord of Levin waits. Anyway, Tiny Luck, I can just talk to him. I hope.
Nora betrays thee, servant of hiding.
So my reputation precedes me.
Thou art the bringer of light, bane of Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, and Leviathan. I am Ramu, guardian of the children of the forest. Thou tramplest upon sacred soil, bringer of light. By what right doth man intrude in this sanctuary of the sylphs?
Well, you see, we came to parley.
Redanians proffer peace? Their words are born of delusion, thine offer an insult. Thou speakest of harmony, yet carest naught for my children's desires. They did but wish to dwell beneath these boughs in solitude. Yet even that was too much to ask of man. Thus did they turn to me for succor. The sentence I pronounce upon thy kind is just. Redanian or Garlean, it matters not. The good intent of one excuseth not the misdeeds of the other. Thy conflicts have brought naught but anguish and misery unto the forest. All blame doth lie with the darkness that resideth in the breast of man.
Whence sprung this calamitous seed? In the beginning no such duality existed. Were light and dark given form when man was born? It would explain much. Not least why strife and sorrow follow ever in thy wake. Thou canst not deny the urgings of thine own nature. Knowing that thy mere presence here portendeth tragedy, wilt thou persist in this pretense of peacemaking?
I would indeed.
Thou bearest the crystal which I bestowed upon my wayward charges, that they should entrust so precious a gift to thee. Thou standest apart from thy kin. Thou art the bringer of light, aye. But there is something more in thee. Very well. I shall consider thy proposal, shouldst thou survive my trial. If thou wouldst champion the cause of harmony, I must have proof that thou art fit to play the role. Wither mine ire, and prove to me thereby that thou hast strength enough to stay the darkness which threateneth to consume thee. Yet if thou shouldst be found wanting, know that all men shall perish in the storm of my judgment. Come to me, bringer of light. I shall await thee on the field of battle.
Eorzea, it is rare indeed to find you so far from a tome.
The Lord of Levin himself. Never till this day had I looked upon his visage, save in painted renderings made faint by time. Ever shall this scene remain etched in my mind's eye. Beg pardon, my lady. I must beg thine aid on a point of research. If thou art resolved to face Lord Ramuh, I would ask thy leave to observe the event.
Yeah, you need not to ask me, but try to stay far away. The striking tree hard, now accessible. Let's strike that tree. After forging deep into the Sylphilands, you meet with the intimidating guardian deity of the Sylphs, the Primal Ramuh. But before he will consider your proposal of peace, the Lord of Levin first demands proof that you possess the strength required to repel the Empire from the Twelveswood. The Thunderous entity then vanishes in a binding flash, leaving the words of his challenge yet echoing in your ears. Enter the Primal's domains and prepare to be measured in the scales of battle. Wrong Primal for scales. 7 minutes, nice. For 5 minutes, fate on this part is actually doable. So let's do it. What am I supposed to do? Who said you could go away, Ron? Oh, okay. It's doable, but I'm not doing it. Or maybe I am, because the tank doesn't ready up. There we go. Oh. Thunderous. Oh, I'm being electrified. Make sure I don't hit anybody else. I'm being electrified again. Ooh, okay, I got targeted. So he saved me because I would be charmed to go towards remove, and that would be an insta kill. So I also need to pay attention to do this too. Other people. See, this guy's being targeted. He's gonna be charmed, so... Okay, I can save him. Okay. Oh. That's... Removes currently vulnerable. Don't kill the ads and you'll die. Anyone suspiciously stopped? No? Okay, I wasn't paying attention at the board. Okay. There we go. Nope. Oh, I don't have electricity. Someone is out. I didn't get tethered. Do you solve the tether? You grab those orbs. You need 3 of them. That was very smooth. Okay, let me guess. We're reading into a cutscene.
I have taken thy measure, bringer of light. And I judge thee a worthy champion. The task of excising the sin that hath taken root in man's heart is thine. Shrink not from employing thy strength in service to the forest and the wider realm beyond. Like hungering shadows do the enemies of harmony gather, and meekness will but feed them. If man is to be delivered from the dark, it shall be by thy guiding light alone. Stray not from the path, for if thou dost, thy people shall be truly lost.
Thou hast slain the Lord of Levin. A regrettable act, but a necessary one.
To be fair, he seems to have been the most reasonable one so far. At least I passed the test.
In witnessing thy struggle, a truth hath been revealed unto me. If I mistake not, it may yet prove a chink in the eternal armor of the Ascians. But let us conclude our present business. I shall expound upon my findings at the Rising Stones anon.
I am very curious. That's a lot of fates. Lahee, you have returned. Did I ask how Ramuh received our visit? He tested me and I passed. He challenged you to a test of arms? It is well then that you have some experience in such matters. The peoples of both Gridania and Little Solace will be relieved to hear that the Lord of Levin has accepted you as the forest champion of peace. You have performed a monumental duty this day, Lahee. The other seats here must be informed of your deeds at once. What little gods are made of. The Serpent Lieutenant is ready to send you on your own way. The other seats here will wish to hear of your experiences firsthand. Pray return to Great and make directly for the Lotus Den. The Conjurer at Nofika's altar will be expecting you. Fare you well, Lahee. Farewell. That's a terrible weather for meeting with Kenny Senna in her office. Welcome back, Honored Scion. We who knew your mission have been most anxious to see you return. The other seats here waits you within. It's not raining here. What magic is this? Seriously, how do you do that? You would think that Ada's appraisal of the situation held some merit after all. Mayhap I should not be so swift to discount her intuition. I fancy my presence was more help than hindrance during our troubles with Leviathan, but this time around, well, even I have my off days. Ah, the hero of the hour. Let us not keep the other seats here waiting. You should have seen Maxio when we got back to Little Solace. Grateful is an understatement. I thought he was going to shake Papalima's hand off.
You are returned to us, dear friend, and none the worse for bearing the heavy burden which I did press upon you. Most glad am I of this. I am informed that your efforts to negotiate a peace with Lord Ramuh ended in conflict. Pray tell me, what befell?
I wouldn't call that conflict.
Ramuh made trial of you? I fear there is truth to his claim. It is the darkness within us that attracts the darkness without. It cannot be denied that misfortune follows man. For evidence, one need only look to the conflict brewing in Cartano, or to the rising flood of refugees. Our shared struggle against the Empire should have served to seal our union. Yet the ties which bind the Alliance strain under the weight of gross self-interest. As the scars of the calamity begin to fade, so too does our sense of common purpose. Yet now is scarce the time to forget our shared responsibility. If this new-sprung realm is to survive beyond its infancy, it must needs be nurtured by all. Eorzea must be as one. Yet I fear that dream is still far off. On behalf of the people of Gridania and the elementals both, I thank you for all that you and your fellow scions have done. Full oft have I been compelled to look to you for aid of late, and offered all too little in return. As leader of this nation, I shall endeavor to prove a more worthy ally to your cause henceforth. Lord Ramu has departed, yet the keening of this ill wind grows no less insistent. Voices of the forest, pray speak and I shall listen. What unseen evil begets this unease in my heart?
Well, it's not Bahamut. That I dealt with already. It would seem that Ida is surprised over this. Really? The same thing you were saying before. Okay. Alright. Thus ends another daunting mission, and Lahee? I'd hoped Lord Ramu could be persuaded with words alone, but nonetheless, I can only admire the adroitness with which you responded to the Primal sudden challenge. Well, he was not the first one that I fought. And it seems that Urianger too was pleased with the outcome. What say you, Lahee? Shall we gather back at the Rising Stones and ponder the lessons of the day? Indeed. I'm sure that Minfili will be eager to hear more of your adventures. Let us return to the Rising Stones and put our thoughts in order. Returning. See you guys there. This looks a bit empty today. Duty calls? Well, no matter the task, I have faith you see through to the end. Oh, that is calling me back. Take care, Lahee. I look forward to hearing all about your adventures when you return. I return to tell you about my adventures. Now! Hey, Mr. Lahee, what's a Ramu? Is it cute and fluffy like a horse bird? Fluffy, but not exactly cute. I tried substituting native ingredients several times, but the result was but a pale imitation of authentic Adoman cuisine. Yeah, that's to be expected. Worried about leaving us alone? Don't be. While the Archons are away, our Balder will keep the little one safe. Mr. Lahee, is it true you're going to go adventuring again? I'm so jealous. I'm always coming and going. Speaking with Master Cotonet has opened my eyes to a great many things. I had no idea the world outside Doma was so strange and wonderful. I need to go to Doma someday. Hopefully without the Empire. But that's a bit of wishful thinking. Mayhap one day we shall accompany you into the field, but for now, you must see to less glamorous duties. Don't sell yourself short. Welcome back, Lahee. Word of your momentous encounter with Lord Hamu precedes you. I would fain share news of mine own, but your discoveries must take precedence. Upon witnessing your defeat of the Lord of Levin, our learned companion was struck with a profound insight regarding the nature of the Ascian's immortality. Let us assemble and discuss his observations together.
If everyone is ready, let us begin. Eorzea, the floor is yours.
As all here assembled now know, in its final hours as our Order's headquarters, the Waking Sands did play host to a most unexpected visitor. I speak of the Ascian clad in white, Elidibus. Unwelcome though his presence was, his words that day did serve to confirm a truth long suspected, that the Ascians are eternal beings, to whom physical destruction is as a temporary inconvenience.
In the intervening time, Eorzea and I have striven to discover a means by which the Ascians might more permanently be slain.
And 'tis my belief that we have found the thread that will allow us to unravel the twisted skein of their existence. In the moments prior to Leviathan's most recent manifestation, the Sahagin elder who summoned him was observed to undergo some manner of ascension. The etheric readings taken by Y'shtola at the time of this transfiguration have proven most enlightening.
The disruption to the flow of ether was sudden and dramatic. So tangible was the agitation, I scarce had need of my goggles.
The significance of Y'shtola's readings might better be understood in the context of mine own, taken at the instant of the Lord of Levin's demise. Unlike the Primal, the Sahagin was not subject to etheric dissipation.
Before discussing our new discoveries, it may benefit us all to recall what we know of etheric behavior. Let us begin at what some might call the end. When we who dwell in the material realm die, our spirits dissolve into the flow of ether and are returned to the ethereal realm. In turn, the restless energy which suffuses that plane streams back into our world, giving rise to new life.
'Tis as the heavens did decree, the way of all mortal souls. Twixt this world and the next do the ethereal currents swirl, bearing the very essence of life. Thus doth the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth continue unabated.
No 7 hells or 7 heavens, just
Primals
reincarnation.
behave somewhat differently. In order to manifest and then maintain a physical presence in this realm, they must consume vast quantities of ether, most often in the form of crystals. Though they may seem to live, their flesh is but ether given shape. Thus, a defeated primal leaves behind no broken corpse. Rather, the essence of its form seeps back into the land whence it came, and the energy of its shattered spirit is called back to the ethereal realm.
And there it waiteth, till next the prayers of the faithful do draw it forth from the sea of ether, to take their offering of crystals and make for itself a new body.
Which brings us on to the third group, the so-called immortals. They exist in a manner all their own.
quite. Even as the Sahagin Elder fell to the Admiral's musket shot, I witnessed the release of an ethereal cloud, which immediately took possession of a nearby minion.
A soul that dissipateth not upon the death of the flesh.
The secret of life everlasting. And in the claws of a Sahagin, no less. But I wonder, what would happen to one of these obstinate spirits, should there be no suitable host for it to claim?
If mortal death entails a return to the ethereal realm, it seems doubtful that the soul of an immortal would venture there.
Nay, it merely withdraweth the distance, unto the shore of the ethereal sea, perchance, but no further.
Yes, it exists in neither this realm nor the next, abiding instead in the space that lies between them. The Ascians took control of Thancred by means of a crystal of darkness, an artifact which, if our theories are correct, serves as a gateway to the place I have just described.
I was hoping people had forgotten about that.
I am sorry, my friend.
For a mercy, the weary road of our research hath brought us unto an answer.
The Sahagin ascended to an immortal state, but he did not possess a crystal of darkness through which to flee this realm. Thus was he consumed by Leviathan. If we could entrap the spirits of defeated Ascians in like manner, and thereby deny them resurrection...
Therein lieth the path to victory. Thou art most perceptive, my lady. Only when we have trapped the bodiless soul within an ethereal prison can we hope to defeat its unnatural constancy. Thus might even an eternal paragon be consigned to oblivion.
These feats are, of course, far easier said than done. At present, we lack a viable means to entrap and extinguish an Ascian soul. Yet, I believe it to be possible. The pieces of the puzzle lie before us. We have but to put them together.
We did come a long way. If we put our heads together, we can find something.
I will depart at once to convene with the sages of Sharlayan. Together shall we divine the steps by which our goals may be achieved.
I have the utmost faith in you, Archon.
Beg pardon, antecedent, but I would raise one final matter. Even now, a Sharlayan survey party seeketh to ascertain the fate of the students of Baldessian. Their findings shall soon be known to us. Though you harbor feelings of dread, I bid you surrender not to sorrow, but abide instead in hopeful prayer.
I shall, Archon. Thank you.
The Lord of Lev. How can I have... do I have anything to make an effect? I don't. I don't want to make them just talk like they have helmets. Yeah, whatever. The Lord of Levin returned to the Ether, as was Leviathan before him. Ramu's acquaintance was most intriguing. Inferno, Vortex, Krag, War, and Levin. I have not been humbled. I have now been humbled by the bringer of light. The limitless potential of man, idling servants grow mightier by the day. Yet he prospers at great costs to his mistress, whose strength is all too finite. 7 times have the masters survived the rejoining, but their souls are grown weak and wan. Yet, even as it enervates, the ardor empowers our master. All that remains is to nurture the strength of the gifted, to forge the final key. And that is the task to which we bend our every effort. Divine seeds were ever want to quicken in Eorzea's fertile soil. We need only to lead men to the field, and by their eager hands shall a new deity arise. That which was shattered shall be made anew, and the one true God shall come again. Alright. Guardians of Eorzea. Okay, that's a good stopping point. And I think finally you will actually finish it at the end of a of a patch. We still have quite a few ways to go until we get to Heavensward. Didn't remember this. The supposed release content took so long. Yeah, I did divert and do a bunch of side stuff, but yeah, the Crystal Tower is not side stuff anymore. It's actually mandatory. There's a point where Minfilia icons there would be red and said, "Go to the Crystal Tower." And I think the hard mode for the primals also needed to be unlocked, if I remember correctly. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today. We'll be back with more Final Fantasy XIV next Wednesday at 8 PM GMT+3. Next Sunday at 7 PM GMT+3 I'll be playing more Vintage Story. As long as it's not Mother's Day. I couldn't play yesterday. Anyway, so yeah, if you've been watching me on Twitch, I have all my VODs on YouTube when I remember to record them. And so far I have never forgotten, and I could just export the Twitch VODs should worse come to worse. And if you've been watching me on YouTube, first, sorry for my blunder at the beginning of the episode, and yeah, you can check me live on Twitch. For now, thank you guys so much for watching. I am the Plane Shifter, he is Lahee Eshkree, and we are phasing out. Bye!